With Life Friday, and we're talking about going green and being sustainable.
Absolutely. I just wanted to touch on a little thing before jumping in that. You know what's a really interesting fact about yesterday's event and the passing of Michael Jackson, and Farrah Fawcett for that matter, is when Michael Jackson passed, the internet actually slowed down. It actually put...
because so many people are trying to use it?
Almost grinded to a halt. So many people are trying to use it. It's also a key indicator of how many people actually get their information and their news information, or are now rushing to the web as a source of that information.
For an update.
And how social media has become so pervasive that people kind of verify and exchange, you know, what's happening in the media and their news with their friends and their family.
Well, Twitter was going crazy yesterday.
Twitter was down. TMZ, which broke the story, was down for a while, too. Google News was actually reporting that it couldn't send it. Google said it couldn't Google. It couldn't do its thing within its news feed for a while because of the incident. So it's really interesting to note how that affected.
I'm sure there will be a lot of meetings at different businesses today about how to make sure that doesn't happen in the future.
Absolutely. It just shows the demand and the veracity at which we all need to kind of consume information when we can, and how easy and convenient and transparent it's all become. With transparency in mind and sustainability coming up, I found an interesting stat recently. Jim Harris wrote an article not too long ago citing that in the Toronto area, when you drive to work, you think that's the main polluter. You think that's, you know, where most CO2 emissions come from, is our daily commute and those vehicles. That's the bad guy, right? We've always thought that's the case. In Toronto, however, there's studies that have indicated that vehicles are accounting for 21% of the CO2 emissions, yet guess what the main culprit is? Buildings. Buildings are accounting for 52% of CO2 emissions. Buildings in a downtown core. They're actually
that are blowing out heat or
blowing out heat, consuming electricity, just the energy loss within those, the fact that a lot of buildings just weren't built with sustainability in mind.
Right, of course.
And buildings are a major culprit.
So what can be done about that?
Well, what can be done? There's a lot of things people can do to retrofit their houses. There's a lot of great sources of information. One of the sites that I love in general, just when you're going on the sustainability tip, is treehugger.com. This is a great site for everything from, you know, how to go green, how to buy green, how to build green. There's how-tos on this site. It's a really great and extremely thorough portal with all sorts of information here, and how-to and videos and you name it. There's another site called greenroofs.com. Now, it's interesting to note, too, that the Vancouver Airport just opened up one of the first green walls in Canada in an airport, which is great and noteworthy. As well, the new Vancouver Convention Center has a green living roof, just like this site sort of expounds and attempts to teach that anybody can do that themselves.
And I see down the north end of the Candy Corridor there's also a building, I think it's on 7th, that's got a big green wall as well.
Right. And there's another project that I really like in Victoria called Dockside Green, which is winning awards internationally because of its depth and its breadth, coming up with an entire sustainability mandate within a community LEED certification. It's a standard that you can achieve within this type of building, and it's really a call to action for us to think about the ways in which we construct and build our communities, and even maybe retrofit our houses if you're upgrading anything.
Well, Mark and I were just at the BC Hydro Power Smart Awards, and they were giving businesses awards for doing just that. And these businesses found that by spending a little bit of money to retrofit their buildings with like new lights and things like that, they're actually making more money because they're saving so much on these lights. So they were given awards for doing it in an innovative way. And we're talking about small businesses to large corporations, and a little bit makes a huge difference in the bottom line.
I think I heard that even Molson had managed in a short period of time to reduce the amount of bottles of water that went into a simple bottle of beer, going from something like 7 to 5, so it's just less even in your average bottle of beer, and it's a solid business case. There's a good proven ROI on taking those sort of steps and those sort of actions. Vancouver, the city itself, has a great site, vancouver.ca sustainability, on what you can do here within the city, of course. A lot of debate around them closing off a lane on the Broad Street Bridge. I don't know how that's going to go down. I'm sure there might be fisticuffs, drivers and cyclists, who knows, right? But
we'll have a camera there, so we got to cut it short there, but yeah, great stuff. So
thanks,
check out the website. Thanks, Bradley. Appreciate it. And good information.
Yep, connectedlifetv.com or media20.com/blogs. Bradley at media20.com. Thanks, Bradley. See you next week.
You're welcome.
All right, Mark.
Okay, thanks, you guys, very, very much. As we look outside.